Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the amazing Upton Farm by Lancyboi. It is spring, it's midday on our second day. We've got some work to do, so let's get to it straight away. We're down at the store, which is where we typically start, and the reason is because a lot of our activity, a lot of the fields that we owned when we started the map were sort of down around the store. So that's where we start. As of now, we have 2 coats of fertilizer on all of our arable fields. This unmarked field is public, that's grass. We own this grass field, and these are going to be grass fields. They're empty right now. And then on the other side, we've still got to plow field number 9, field number 40. And our subsoiler, which is serving as a plow today, is down at field 3. So we're going to get our seed drill going straight away, and we're going to work on these. We're going to work on these fields down by the store. We're going to start planting grass in 32, 33, and 34, and we're just going to work from south to north and sort of trend back to the map. Once we get our seed drill going, we're going to take our power harrow over to field number 3, and we need to take our new T6 that we just bought. We need to take that over to the other side of the map. We'll be spreading some fertilizer in between the subsoiler and the power harrow so we can finish up these 3 fields, get those drilled as well. We are running seasons mod, and I try to remember to check before we seed anything, just to determine that we can seed, and I'm really glad that I did. We're using the Denmark Weather plugin for seasons, and we're not going to be able to seed until till the end of spring. We will be able to put some grass in the middle of spring, so that changes things a little bit, and I'm glad I did check that. If you put things in when they're out of season, they will never germinate. You can plant things. So right now it's 34 degrees, and you can see that these are all blue, indicating that it's too cold for these to germinate, but you can seed them if you're in this green bar. If we were to plant, on this farm, we're going to be planting wheat, barley, canola, possibly soybeans, and grass. And as you can see, none of them are available to seed right now. Regardless of temperature, if we drilled any of those, the crops would die and they would never germinate. However, if we were into this green bar, say for grass, even though it's too cold for it to germinate, we could still plant it, we could still drill it, and when the temperature came above 37, then it would begin to germinate. But as it stands right now, if we planted anything, we would lose that crop for the year. It would not germinate. So glad that I checked. We can, okay. So we will lift this guy up. We're going to send him back to the north entrance to the farm, the back entrance to the farm. We're going to send this JCB up there on a worker, course play. And stored farm north, all right. So there's that. Safety first. Keep the speed down. Yeah, that's a fast track. We do not want him tearing through the countryside at 50 miles per hour. So we're going to slow him way down. Never in a hurry here on the farm. Off he goes. So now we'll get in our T6. Now while we're here, I'm trying to think of anything that we can buy and take to the other side of the farm. Since we're going to be taking the trip anyway, what can we get? Possibly a bale trailer. Just have to decide how big we want to go. 22 round bales. With the size of tractors that we have, that's probably just about right. So we'll go with the black attachers. Let's get, since we're primarily New Holland on this farm, let's go with white. And we'll go with some big wheels, dark rims. We want the universal auto load script, and we'll talk about that. I think we're going standard. We do want the stripping edge, and I like the wood look for these. Mud guards, yes we will, thank you. Underrun protection, yes. And since our trailer's white, let's make our underrun, well now we've got problems. We'll just do this white as well. So we're gonna buy this trailer. And there it is. We'll use this for a lot. We'll use it for bales, obviously, but we'll also use it for hauling things back and forth from the store to the farm as well. So I already forgot. I just started to talk about something and then I forgot. It's very early here. It's a little bit after 5, and that's pretty early. All right. So rather than drilling today, as I had originally planned to, let's instead focus on finishing prepping those fields on the other side of the map over by the farm and just generally getting everything ready. We will be able to drill grass in a couple days. We don't really drill grass. I guess we sort of plant grass or seed grass. But we'll be doing that in a couple of days as soon as that window becomes available to get that going, and then we can do the wheat, barley, and the canola shortly after. We're down to 233,000 pounds. We still need to get a combine. I think it's looking more and more likely we're going to have to rent. I think we will be harvesting grass, so we're going to need a tedder, a rake, possibly a baler, possibly a forage wagon. It's just too many things to buy. We have one small tipper, and it's really, we'll be making a lot of trips back and forth from the combine, either to the silo or to the grain sell point. We'll have to see how that goes. Fortunately, we're only going to be able to get a very small harvester anyway. We'll probably go with something like the New Holland, is it the TC5, I believe? We're probably going to be operating a pretty small tipper. And turn some beacons on since we're stopped in the road there. They know us in the area. They're very accommodating. I'm just going to finish up this little end here that the worker left. Right. Really pleased with the frame rate lately. I'll throw it up there for you. I've been holding at or near 60 really consistently, and I'm super pleased about that. So course play from the store to the farm. Let me take a look. Okay, so we're good there. Beacons and hazards on the street. We're going to slow this down as we do. It's not a race. And there it goes. Then we will quickly jump in the T6, throw the brake off, and see if we can catch this T8 as it heads back to the farm. So yeah, a little bit after 5 here. I've really been having a hard time sleeping lately. I've been waking up really early. I typically get up, I think I've said between 6 and 7, closer to 6. And lately that has not been the case. I don't know what's going on. It's also been cold here. I live in the southern United States, and this time of year, normally it would be starting to warm up. We've had some 70 and 75 degree Fahrenheit days, but we've also had some 30 degree Fahrenheit nights, which is not completely, it's not unheard of, but normally by now it's getting to be a little bit warmer. So it is, that trailer's sort of throwing me around. I would have thought the T6 could handle that no problem. So the weather is a little bit off, and I've got a lot going on in my life right now. Mostly good things. A couple things are a little challenging right now. Mostly good things, but as you know, or if you don't, I'll tell you, even good things can be stressful. Oh, okay. So that mirror is blanking out, I think, because it's seeing the mirrors of the T7? T8. Sorry, let's let the T8 go around the corner. I'm set for a maximum of 4 mirrors, I believe. And I would guess that is, yep, it's just trying to render too many mirrors at once. Okay, well, that's going to bug the hell out of me now. I can't not see it. But I will adjust that in the settings, and I hadn't thought, how many mirrors do I need? I thought there were only 3 on a tractor, so I set it to 4, figuring even if there's a 4th mirror somewhere, then we'll be covered. But I forgot that there can be more than 1 tractor in the frame at the same time. So that's a good thing to know. I will get that adjusted and not let it happen again. I'll also try not to drive off the road again, although no promises there. I am, as much as I've played this game, for as long as I've played it, really I would think that I would be a better driver by now. It surprises me sometimes that I still, I wouldn't say I struggle, but I still hit things, I still run into things, and you would think that after all this time that I would be a better driver. I will say, that's not really in my defense, I guess it's just a whatever. But I will say that I think the reason I hit things is because I'm typically driving too fast. I think if I were driving a real tractor with 8 tons of bales on the back of it, I would probably, I know I don't have any bales on right now, but as an example, if I were driving a tractor with 8 tons of bales on a trailer, or if I was driving a grain tipper, or if I was driving my boss's tractor, I would probably drive a lot more carefully than I do driving a virtual tractor. And I know it looks like I'm on a keyboard right now, the way I'm tapping the steering, but I will, when we get up here behind the T8, I'll show you. I am on a gamepad. I do have analog control, but it's tough coming out of that dead zone. It's tough to come out of the dead zone smooth and make a nice smooth small correction. It tends to sort of jump a few degrees, as you're seeing it do right there. So what I'm going to do is get the T7 out of the way. Okay, so as you can see, we do have analog control. Right, so this guy is on a worker, he's on course plate, same thing. So we're just going to throw these in the yard for now. No need to. no need to really go crazy at the moment. We can just throw him in the yard. We'll go back and get the T8 off the highway and then bring the T6 in, drop that trailer. The T6 will then need to pick up the broadcast spreader and go down to field 3 and get a layer of fertilizer on there so that the T8 can go down and begin power harrowing it. All right, okay. So we'll go get the T8. And I guess we'll just take the T8 directly down to the field right now, down to field 3. And then we'll come back and grab the T6, drop the trailer, pick up the broadcast spreader, take that down to field 3, spray it, hop out of the T6, get into the T7, and take the subsoiler up to field 9. And you know what? It only gets worse, I have to say. As we get more and more and more fields, this just gets more and more crazy until you're running all over the map. But I like not teleporting. I think it really adds a fun challenge to the map. I think it changes the way you play, and I mean, when you're not teleporting and when you have seasons running and Gearbox and more realistic and some of the other stuff, you really know you're not sandboxing. You know, I don't want to say everything matters, but in a way, everything matters. You have to make good choices, and it becomes a long game at that point. It's fun, of course, it's fun. I left this gate open last night. I don't like doing that. OCD says close the gate, son. So when you, and there's nothing wrong with sandboxing. If sandboxing is how you want to play the game, then play it that way and have a great time, by all means. But when you turn off teleporting, when you play a different way, I guess, or the way I'm playing right now, you really do have to start thinking more in terms of the long game and how the things that you're doing are going to affect you, later in the season. Long-term planning, and I like that sort of thing. So we're going to get him out of the way and then run back up this single track, grab the T6 and drop that trailer. And that trailer feels a little bit heavy. That's a good set. That DPW set of Flegel trailers is a really good set. There are a ton of trailers in there, and as you saw, there are a ton of options and adjustments when you buy a trailer. I like that, and it does have the auto lock script. That's what I was going to tell you. Auto loading versus manually loading bales. All right, now I need to go off on a tangent. It's okay, we've got time. We've got another 40 minutes. So I am the portable gamer, and you may be asking yourself, the hell is a portable gamer? What is that? And I'll tell you, I love these setups that I see on YouTube, 3 monitors, 4 monitors. There's a guy that built a custom logging setup for Farm Sim. So he's got a seat, like an air ride seat from a tractor with twin joysticks and pedals and everything. It's amazing, but it's big and it's heavy. Now me, I actually move where I live every 6 months, once a year. Rarely am I in one place for more than a year at a time. And when I move, I don't move across town, I move across the country, or I move to another country. And as a result, I don't own a whole lot. I'm very, very portable. I'm also, believe it or not, I am also actually a Buddhist. I'm a philosophical Buddhist, not a spiritual Buddhist. There's a Buddhism as a religion and Buddhism as a philosophy. And I approach it as a philosophy. I don't don't really have much patience for the supernatural. So, I think I'll drop this front loader right now too. We're not using it for anything, and we won't be for a minute. So let's drop this front loader and just keep things simple and clean. So, I own very little. And I'm mindful of materialism and what matters, I guess. I don't want to lose sight of what matters and become a person who is so connected to my possessions that I neglect everything else. So, I don't own a lot. And I love gaming. So when I put all those things together, I don't own a lot. I don't want the things that I own to end up owning me. And I move a lot. And I love gaming. I think I may have said one or possibly two of those things twice. This broadcast spreader is as big as a van. Right? Am I caught on something? No, I just stopped. So I put all those things together. I don't own a lot, I move a lot, and I love gaming. Pardon me, be right back. I just used my dump button for the first time. Pretty happy about that. So then the challenge became, well, how can I game at the level that I like to game at, wherever I am? And how can I take that with me and never have to either feel like I need to stay somewhere because I've built a game room. So let's say I built a setup, 350-inch monitors with a 30 on top, and a race chair or a tractor seat, or however, all the different setups you see on YouTube, these beautiful setups that you build when you own a home. Even in an apartment, a setup like that is a little tricky. So would I like to have a setup like that? I would, but it's just not me, not philosophically and not practically. So what does that leave? And what I've found it leaves is you can still run a hot rod system, either desktop or laptop, but your monitor is going to be smaller. And for me, I like the idea of pedals and a wheel and a shifter and joysticks and right, you see, where does it end? When you start building a rig that big, where does it end? So I like the idea of that stuff. It's just not me right now. So I decided to see how portable can I make my rig and still game the way I want to game. Well, I feel like I've had a gamepad in my hand since I was 6 or 7 years old. Most of us, we've all grown up on gaming. So it's very familiar to us. So I can do all right with a gamepad, with an Xbox controller versus a wheel and pedals. I like a wheel and pedals. Don't get me wrong. I'm not opposed in any way. It's just not a good fit for me right now. So now we're at a laptop, a gamepad, and I have a joystick as well. All my peripherals are Logitech. I'm not sponsored or anything. I just really like their equipment. It's affordable compared to some other stuff that's out there. It's affordable, and it treats me right. Save your receipt. If you have a problem, take it back to Best Buy. They'll just hand you a new one. And that's the type of support that you don't always get with boutique companies. Although when you're spending 10 times as much for a piece of equipment, you really, or I guess I really think you should get better customer service when you're spending. You can buy $1,000 joystick versus a $100 joystick from Logitech, and the customer service that you get from Logitech and a place like Best Buy it's better than some of those little boutique companies. So that's a bonus for me. That setup works for me. At the moment I do have a 30-inch monitor, but that's it. My entire gaming rig, which would be my laptop, my gamepad, and my headset, I can just drop them in a laptop bag, drop them in my messenger bag, and off I go. And when I get where I'm going, whether it's another apartment, whether it's a hotel, I can set up my gaming rig in 5 minutes. So I would love to have some of the setups that I see, the 3 monitor setups. I would love to have a setup like that. It's just not in the cards for me right now. So next best thing. So that is why I am the portable gamer. And how does that tie into the autoload script? Well, I'll tell you. We're doing field work in field 3. Is that right? 2 headlands. 2 is the magic number when it comes to headlands, I've found. Most people say 3. Everybody likes their own particular brand of vodka, but 2 is perfect for me most of the time. I know the Horsch DLC, some of the seed drills are really long, and if that's the case, then you might want to go 3, because if you go 2, those 2 headlands combined side to side may not equal the length of the tractor with a long seed drill on it. And you get some trouble. So what does being the portable gamer, what does your gaming rig have to do with the autoload script? Well, when you use a gamepad, you have to have both hands on the gamepad. And the way I have mine set up, my right trigger is my accelerator, my left trigger is my brake, my left thumbstick is my steering, and my right thumbstick is look around, which is the standard setup for pretty much every gamepad for every gamer in the world. But what that means is I can steer and brake at the same time, but I can't steer and accelerate at the same time if I have to take my right hand off the gamepad to operate the joystick that I have all my front loader and telehandler controls assigned to. So basically, for me I can and do load bales with a front loader or a telehandler, but it's a sort of stop and go procedure. I need to get everything lined up with the joystick, then take my hand off the joystick, put it on the gamepad, and pull forward into the bale. It's a little, you get what I'm saying? It's a little rough. I think, did we figure out the best way to do this? Up and over, okay. So I'm aware of the fact that I'm making a video, and I want the people watching it to enjoy it. And watching me stack bales, watching someone stack bales is for me, that's right on the edge of tedious. My OCD is really, my OCD loves watching people stack bales. My OCD loves watching anybody stack anything. But bale stacking, because I play the farm sim, watching someone stack bales is fun. I know how hard it is. But I also see a lot of people time-lapse it in their videos because it can be a little monotonous. And I totally get that. It's more monotonous when I do it because I keep starting and stopping. Because I have to keep taking my hand and moving it back and forth from the gamepad to the joystick. And did I miss it already? No, I did. Wow. Okay. So for that reason, I do use the auto load script. Now these are my first videos that I've ever made, the ones that you're watching right now. First time I've ever done this. I left this gate open as well. Ugh. Look at something. All right. So field work, field 9. We're going 3 because that subsoiler is fairly narrow. Right. But I'll meet you in the middle. I know some people are going to say if you're playing realistic, then you have to stack your bales. You can't auto load. That's not realistic in any way. It's not. I'll give you that. The only possible way that I could defend it is to say, well, if you can hire a worker to operate a seed drill, if you can hire a worker to do this, to do that, let's just suspend our disbelief and pretend we hired a worker to stack bales. And unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. I don't know what the difference is, like why it's okay to have a worker on a seed drill, but it's not okay to have a worker stacking bales, even though it's all fake. It's only a game. Nobody cares. It's just different somehow. So I'll meet you in the middle, and what I'll say is I'll pull the trailer with the auto load script into the center of a field with bales, and then I'll run around with either the front loader, well, we only have a front loader now, but front loader or telehandler, and I will pick the bales up one at a time, but I'll leave the auto load script on so when I get the bales close to the trailer, then they will go ahead and drop into place. And that gives us a neater stack as well. And even though we didn't do it ourselves, and we didn't make the stack, so it doesn't count as an accomplishment, we still get a neater stack, particularly when we unload. With the auto load script, you can unload the entire trailer at once, and it makes a neat little pile. But we'll see. It is really, I joke about it, I say it over and over, it's just a game, nobody cares, but really it is just a game. So we can do whatever we want. So leave your comments and let me know what you think of that, but I will most likely use that sort of hybrid technique where we'll have the auto load script, but I will pick up the bales one at a time. All right, so we'll see how the power harrow is doing. So this, pardon me, this changes things a little bit. It really does. I knew I had there's the northern Sweden weather. But you know what? Let me look again. Yeah, sure enough. There's the northern Sweden weather that I know has a very short season. For some reason, I thought Denmark was longer. The Denmark weather is a little bit, it's like British weather, but a little bit more exaggerated, I guess. A little colder in the winter, a little hotter in the summer. Okay. So this changes things a little bit. It's important to me as I'm making these. It's important to me that I make content that you enjoy watching, and I don't want this to turn into, I don't want it to get boring, I don't want it to get tedious, but I also want it to be realistic. That's the kind of video that I like watching, and that's the kind of video that I'm going to make. I know there's a market for it because that's what I like. So I'm hoping the people that find this channel are people that like realistic farming, and right now they are, pulling out a piece of scrap paper and figuring, well, if we do this on this day and this on this day, you may or may not have enough time to get everything in this spring. We're going to need to do some winter crops, I think. Yeah, we're going to need to, because we can plant into the winter. Yeah, we're going to need to, as we get more fields going, we will have to plant in the winter. So let me get this. What do I want to do right now? Okay, I'm going to take this broadcast spreader over to field 9 and park it up so that it can be ready to fertilize that field as soon as the subsoiler is done. And then I'm going to come back to the farm, which is right around the corner. Come back to the farm and take the seed drill and fertilizer tank off the JCB and use it to put that trailer away somewhere, probably up on the hill next to the red heron tipper. Well, this day has taken a turn, but you know what? We adapt, we improvise, and we overcome. And it's only a game. Who cares? And I think, now when I get this parked, I don't think we're quite at an hour yet. I'm trying to bring these in right around 1 hour, so could be that we'll need to do a little yard work. There it is. Could be that we'll need to do a little yard work to fill out this hour. All right. Subsoiler is working away. I really do like this map. I think Lancyboi did a great job. Can't say enough nice things about it. Upton and Oakfield and the West Coast, I think, are my 3 all-time favorite maps. I'm a fan of Coldborough Park, but I feel like, and I actually think I have Coldborough Park Seasons on my hard drive that I hang on to that one. Coldborough Park, I really like. Shellington, for me, I have to say, it didn't, when I first played it, I was really impressed by it, but I feel like the maps that came out after Shellington sort of, how do I want to say this? I feel like if Shellington was the last map that I had ever seen for Farm Simulator, I would still think it was great, but it is as though the maps that came after Shellington, for me, it didn't age well because of them. And I know we're always trending upward. We always go forward, never backward. So the maps that come after have to be better. If they're not better, we just don't really take any notice of them because they're not on our radar if it's not as good as what came before. That's progress. So the maps that came after, I think, for me, sort of overshadow. That's a good word for it. They sort of overshadowed Shellington, and it's just not as good as I. Well, the map is no different than it was when I first saw it. I just feel differently about it. I guess that's a good way to say it. It's a good smoke effect on this JCB. This is by Bone Crusher. and it's on the Forbidden Mods site if you're looking for it. And that's another one that I feel like I have some history on this mod. I know where it came from, and you know, the developer's site and various other things. It's a decent sized tractor. I think I don't need to go grab the front weight just to move that. Right. I didn't forget. I do like in-cab. It's definitely more challenging, for sure. At the same time, the level of detail on this equipment is amazing, and I really like to go third person so I can see the equipment. All right. We're in Gearbox and we're not downshifting, so we're kind of struggling here. Let's try this. Nope. There we go. Nope. Okay. Well, this is the other thing that happens when you get cute and run a ton of mods, is they keep you busy. Right. See if I can get a run at it. There we go. Now see if I can get a run at it and smash the thing right through the back wall of the shed. That's what I wanted, just to get, there we go. That seems about right. Right. Okay, gotta go pick up the front weight for this, and then we will park it up. Go take a look at our T7 and T8. And I think we don't have any animals right now. We don't have a crop in the ground. There's really, I hate to say it, but there's really not a lot to do. This is the nature of farming. The Realismus modding folks talk about this on their website. There have been, not complaints, but some people have said, you know, taking care of animals in the winter is really boring and it just takes forever. And their response is, yeah, it's a reality mod, and that's how you do it on a farm. That's what you do in the winter. So, but again, that's for the people playing the game. That's for me playing the game. For you watching me play the game, I want the content to be something that it's worth it for you to watch. Take a look on OBS. We're at 45 minutes, so let's, I think the T7, the T7 and the T8, I think they both have a ways to go. The T8 particularly probably has an hour to go to finish field 9, and we're not staying till the end of that. The T7 is probably 10 or 15 minutes left for that small field number 3. Now we have to plant grass down south of the store. We have to plant grass on the fields that have been harvested and have nothing in them. But we own a grass field, and there are 2 public grass fields that will have grass that we can mow. I think could even be on the 4th day of of spring. It might be that early. We wouldn't get a lot out of it, but it would be something. It would be enough that we could use it to feed some sheep. The other thing we could do is just buy bales and start feeding the sheep. Now, we have a bale trailer. We'd need to get a water bowser to haul water up there. Yeah, you see what I mean about playing realistic like this? This is what I love about playing realistically. Oh dear. Hour and 20 minutes. So no, there's no way we'll stick around till the end of that. But do you see what I mean about playing realistically? There are so many challenges, and they're all self-imposed. I mean, we can do whatever we want. These are the challenges that we put on ourselves are just completely contrived. We pulled them out of thin air, but now they're there, and so we work within them. Something like teleporting. You know, I just ran over here from the farm. It would have taken 0 seconds to just tap the D-pad, but that's not the deal we made. That's not how we agreed to do it. And it's like the lava game. You ever play the lava game? Right? The floor is lava. Can't touch the floor, and you have to hop from sofa to sofa. It's just made up. The floor is not lava. But this is the new limitation that we've given ourselves. You can't touch the floor, and that's really what it's about. It doesn't matter what it can be lava. It can be anything that you don't want to touch. It doesn't matter. What matters is we've given ourselves a set of goals, and we've limited the way that we can move toward them. Can't go on the floor because the floor is lava. And how do we solve that problem? Can you jump from the sofa to the end table without breaking the lamp? That's a really specific example. You're asking yourself right now, you're saying, Ill Will, did you break that lamp? And I have no comment at this time. Mea culpa. So this guy, yeah, it's a smaller field and a bigger implement. So this cat is just cruising right along. I'm going to take a look in here, and then at that point I would be running in circles, just making things up to do, and that's no good. Right, 17 minutes, okay. Let me hop out so it's a little quieter. Folks, thank you so much for coming to visit us. Thanks so much for coming to see the Portable Gamer and spending some time with us on Upton Farm. We'll see you next time. This will all be done, and we'll move on to the next task. Take care now.